Time now for everybody's favorite guessing game, What's My Line? Brought to you by Dr. Jules Montagnier, the famous cosmetic chemist, creator of Stop-Et Spray Deodorant. Poof, there goes perspiration. And Finesse, the flowing cream shampoo. Time for What's My Line?
That was very difficult, and you, I think, did very well. Let's see what you can do with another challenger. Would you sign in, please, ma'am? Nell Brissendine, is that right? Miss or Mrs.? Mrs. Brissendine, where are you from?
Atlanta, Georgia.
Atlanta, Georgia. Well, how nice to have you with us. Got some Northerners over here. Would you go over and say hello to them, please? Miss Brissendine. Hello.
How do you do?
All right. 3 wild and happy guesses to what your line may be, which guessing we will begin with Miss Kilgallen.
I think she's a stylist in the most fashionable department store in her city.
Mr. Allen.
I think she's an ocelot trapper.
Miss Francis.
I think she writes a column for a newspaper.
Mr. Sill.
I think she collects and is a Georgia peach.
Well, how nice. But nobody has the exact answer. We'll let our viewers at home have another look at Mrs. Brissendine. At the same time, we will tell them what her line is. All right, Mrs. Brissendine, every time you get a no answer, it costs the panel $5. We'll keep the record up here. 10 of these no's, and they've had it, as they say in the old country. All right, Mrs. Brissendine is salaried. Let's begin the general questioning with Steve Allen.
Mrs. Brissendine, is there a product with connected with what you do?
Yes.
Might it ever be found in the home?
Yes.
Is it then something with which the housewife might come into contact? Might she ever run into it in the kitchen? Is this...
Is it larger than a bread box?
Ever?
Ever? Now, I would say this. I think
tiny bread box.
Since we're...
With just crumbs in it.
I would say that in one degree, its area might be construed as being larger than a bread box.
That's good enough for me.
All right, if that's good enough.
In the kitchen. Could you put something into this? These people are laughing. Would what you put into this be solid rather than a liquid? Sorry, I didn't hear the answer.
Yeah.
It eliminates refrigerators. Could this, whatever happens here, affect the temperature of what is put into it? Like, could it warm it or heat it in any way? Seem to be on the wrong tracks. I guess then this is this one of those things that Betty Furness might exhibit on television?
No! What down the night to go, Miss Francis?
Is this container something that might have anything to do with having a human being inside of it?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And if you ran into it in the kitchen, you would run into a human being that had this on. Would it be a small human being as a rule?
Well, I don't think so. Not
Some
necessarily.
men are quite...
Here you go, Mr. Sir.
Mrs. Brissendine, is this an article that is used more by the female sex than the male sex?
That makes it
Au
3 down and
contraire.
7 to go, Miss Kilgallen.
Then is this an article that is normally worn by grown-up males?
Yes.
And it's worn for warmth as well as for some other reason? Is it also considered a rather essential part of covering the male species?
I don't like the way that question was asked. Yes, I would say it's considered essential to the degree that it's put to use under specific circumstances and conditions. It's very...
Is it something that would be bought in a men's clothing store?
Yes.
Is it is it made of cloth?
Yes.
Something that comes by the yard? Would a tailor make it?
Well, I have never yet run into it being made by a tailor. 4 down and 6 to go, Mr. Allen.
Is this anything even...
Remotely, it might be, yes, I think, don't you?
Is it a type of undergarment for men?
Yes.
It's men's drawers, then, I think.
Well, that, I think, is part of it. We would like a more specific designation if you could give it to us. From all the laughter, I think...
Long underwear, is it?
That's what we're looking for. Men's long underwear. Well, Mrs. Brissendine, you didn't get a big prize, but I do hope you had a lot of fun. It's nice to have had you with us. Let's see what you can do with another challenger. Would you sign in, please, sir? Fred Berg. Right, sir? Where are you from? Belrose, Long Island. Mr. Berg is from Belrose, Long Island, he tells me. We haven't time for you to take a trip, so will you come over here and sit down next to me right away, please? And the panel on this very brief look at you is going to have to tell us what your line is, and we begin the free guesses with Miss Kilgallen.
I think he's a pari-mutuel gentleman.
Hey, Como's fan club.
Miss Francis.
I think he trains carrier pigeons.
Mr. Cerv.
I think he raises grapes. He's known as a Pittsburgh.
Oh, brother, no, I'm afraid not. We'll let our viewers have another look at Mr. Berg. At the same time, we'll tell them what his line is. Mr. Berg, I think you know all the rules. We flip the cards to keep the count, and panel, we have about a minute and a half. Mr. Berg is salaried. With that, we'll begin the general questioning with Miss Kilgallen.
Do you work for a profit-making organization?
Yes.
Is there a product involved in what
Yes.
you do? Is it something used in the home?
Yes.
Is it a useful product?
Yes.
If you had a 2-story house, would it be found on the ground floor?
Yes.
Would both men and women use it?
Yes.
Children, too?
Yes.
Is it larger than a bird bath? Small bird bath?
Larger than a bird bath?
Little bird bath.
Could be.
But it's not larger than a bread box.
It's not larger than a bread box, no. That's 1 down. It's not larger than a bread box. 1 down and 9 to go, Mr. Allen.
Is it used in the downstairs, you say? Could it be used in the kitchen?
Yes.
Is there any, I got a funny mental flash all the time. I'm going to take the first stab in the dark in a year. Is it a bread box by any chance?
Thank you. What does Mr. Berg do with bread boxes?
He hides in them.
He manufactures them.
I don't want to go.
Give him the 10th one.
Mr. Berg, that was wonderful fun. We were just framing that Allen. We were just trying to get him. So thanks very much for being our guest. We hope you had lots of fun, sir. It was nice to have you on What's My Line. Sunday night at 10:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, when once again we invite you to play What's My Line. For other localities, check your local listings for the date and time of our weekly series. And until then, this is John Daly saying good night, Dorothy.
Good night, honey bun.
Good night, Dorothy. Good night, boys, and good night, Arlene.
You got quite a lot in there. Good night and good luck in Ohio and Indiana, Bennett.
Thanks, Arlene. Same to you for Tuesday night. Good night, John.
And good night, ladies and gentlemen, and thanks for being with us on What's My Line.
Next week, What's My Line will be presented by Remington Rand, makers of the Remington, the world's #1 electric shaver. For the shave you've always wanted, reach for the Remington. Get a Remington 60 Deluxe. This has been a Mark Goodson, Bill Trotman production in association with the CBS Television Network.